Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Spectrum of Spirit Behind the Scenes series, Spiritual Echoes, the Journey Within. I'm Paul Hudson, and we'll be talking a little bit about the making of the series, The Spirit of the Sound, the upcoming documentary about the Jazz Loft here in Stony Brook, New York. I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about how they've created a sacred space at the Jazz Loft, their music, community, and fellowship. I'll be sharing a little bit about some of the filming intricacies that I find that I will have to adjust to and um, adapt to as I go about this journey, and some of the challenges that have come up so far, if any. So yeah, the Jazz Loft. My experience with jazz is not very in depth. I had like a period during COVID where I listened to jazz maybe for like a month. Just experimenting with new music. The COVID makes you try new things. But anyways, yeah, I know it has a history in African American roots and everything, but that's just not. I'm not very well knowledgeable about that. I'm hoping Tom will enlighten me. Tom Manuel is the president and founder of the Jazz Loft. I'm hoping he'll share more about that history with me as we go about this journey. Um, but music has been a big part of my life. My mom played music in the house while she was cleaning the house growing up. My dad would play music in the car when we're going to church or to basketball practice and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I've always had music in my ear now while I'm working. I just love it. It has become like a white noise almost to me. It gives me a rhythm in my daily walk. Um, and yeah, it's just fun. Music is fun. It brings different emotions. It evokes different emotions. That's why I think I saw the Jazz Loft. My first time there was this past Wednesday. I went to an open jam night. I only stopped in a couple of times just to check out the space because I knew Tom through Dan Kerr, who I did the first podcast with. But regardless, I only been to the museum space, which is downstairs, and that was beautiful and amazing. I want to check that out more and learn more about how Tom goes about choosing what to exhibit, who to exhibit, how to exhibit it, etc. But then I went upstairs for the first time. And that's where they had the live performances, and this was super cool because the musicians were quite diverse. I wasn't expecting that much diversity. They were quite diverse. Um, Different backgrounds, different. It seemed like different backgrounds. I might be assuming. I would like to talk to them more. But yeah, it was really cool. The music was amazing. Very talented singers and drummers and trumpet players, etc. Uh, but yeah, super awesome. One thing that I did find interesting was that, and I'll try to showcase this in the B-roll, is like a lot of the paintings were of African American musicians, which makes sense. The Jazz Loft, jazz has a African American roots, um, but the whole crowd was basically not African American, to say the least. And I was one of the two black people there, which is what it is. And I want to talk to Tom Manuel more about that, about how the music brings people together around something that I don't think typically would bring people together, especially this demographic of people. But again, I might be assuming. So I'm looking to learn more, excited to learn more from Tom, and hopefully we get this interview coming soon. Speaking of the interview and the documentary process as a whole, it hasn't been too difficult. Tom's been very busy, but he has been quite communicative to the point where we got an outline down yesterday, and hopefully we can start scheduling an interview sometime soon. So I'm looking forward to that. Another thing about filming at the Jazz Loft was that compared to the religious spaces I've recorded in the past, the room is quite dark. There's not much light in there. Um, so I am going to have to figure out how to showcase everything in there when you can't see everything that's in there, everything that's in the space. The museum part is well lit, and the performance part it's not as lit. So I also want to talk to Tom about how that creates a different mood, creates a different tone, um, and how that kind of settles people in a different way. So yeah, I'm super excited to learn more about just all the details that go into creating this museum performance center that he has created. Um, yeah, I think that's basically it for this behind the scenes episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to check out the rest of what I got going on at spectrumofspirit.com. I'm trying to mix things up a little bit, and the more support, the easier it is for me to try out more things, to add more to this project, and to hopefully just bring people to be the best version of themselves. Again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.